Hi everyone, welcome to this video about the 10 points that I learned throughout the past 6 weeks after our baby got delivered. The baby is now 6 weeks old and I've been gathering a lot of experience. The 6 weeks feel like years now because it's very intense experience, and I hope this video will be giving you a lot of information, especially for new parents or parents that are expecting. Stay tuned, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and leave your comments. Let's jump into it. As a man, when you're in the delivery room, there's a misconception that you just have to help your wife, help her push and so on, and just watch how the baby comes. Now that's true, you should be there for your wife, but also expect that you need to make a decision. That's what happened to me personally. I was the one who decided if my wife has to go through a C-section or a natural birth. And imagine having to decide within 30 seconds if you send your wife to the theater, operation theater, or if the baby comes naturally. And of course, behind this decision, it is also maybe really the life of the baby is hanging around this decision, because if the baby is in the wrong position and so on, and you are asked to make the decision, it is quite tough. So be prepared. The best way to prepare is to communicate with your partner before the birth about what's your expectations, if you want to go to the C-section way, or if you want to do really the natural birth, and also prepare a birth plan. So the birth plan is not only a paper to cross, it's also you need to memorize it, because no one will really, let's say, have it and look at it in the delivery room. You should have it in your head and be proactive. So just be very awake in the delivery room and be ready to make decisions, and very tough decisions. Now the birth plan by itself, it's a way to communicate with your partner. So it is only for both of you, and don't expect that the nurse or the doctor will really have it in their minds during the delivery. And of course, be flexible. Be as flexible as possible, because you cannot really plan ahead. You can just define headlines, like titles, I want to go in this direction or in this direction, but of course there are circumstances that you cannot see before, and you need really to be flexible and really ready to proactively make decisions without being stressed or even under stressful positions, but being still calm and able to make a decision. So be prepared for that. Feeding the baby is another topic. I wish I had known more about it before. You have multiple ways of feeding the baby. So breastfeeding is one of the common ways, or using the formula or the hybrid mode. For us, we went for the breastfeeding, and my wife pumping also some milk so that I can also help with the feeding in general, and that's what worked for us. So be prepared as a man to also feed the baby. And yeah, after the baby is delivered, what I was not expecting is how tough it is to breastfeed the baby if you decided for breastfeeding. So in general, feeding the baby, you should discuss it with your partner also before, so you see a lot of communication, and also be ready for a very tough period afterwards. So I was expecting, so before the baby got delivered, we were in prenatal courses where we learned how to breastfeed the baby, and it sounded really straightforward, but this was not the case. So from what I've heard afterwards, a lot of ladies go through really tough times, even get fever and get hospitalized because of that. It is very hard for the body of the woman to generate the milk at the start, and not as straightforward as you might think, which leads actually to the breast getting hard at the start. And I became a lactation specialist myself, so be ready to become a lactation specialist, in the sense of you need to be there for your wife. I remember at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. for the first week or so, I was massaging the breasts of my wife, because it was too hard and you need to soften it, and it is really a massaging technique that you need to learn, and also you need to help your wife be in the right environment in order for her to produce the milk, because if she is stressed, she'll not be able to produce as much milk as the baby would need, and the breast will start regulating itself with time. So all this I did not know before, and I wish I had knew it, because then I would have informed myself before, but at the end I learned it on the field, directly on the ground, which worked out, but still keep it in your mind. You'll need to be there for your lady. Be the lactation specialist if you are planning to breastfeed. The other way to feed the baby, which some opt to, is the formula. So be sure that you are decided which way you want to feed the baby, and also be aware of how to feed the baby. I mean, if she is breastfeeding and pumping, or if you are using the formula, the temperatures, how you will disinfect the bottles and all this. This is a science by itself, and don't underestimate it. You have the 9 months, and believe me, the 9 months are very, 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 very quick to go through, and don't leave it till the last day like I did myself. Family support. So be ready that you will start having a lot of emotions after delivery. For your family, so you start feeling that you need a broader family around you. You start recognizing how your parents, like how hard it was for them when you were born, and you start developing again like really strong feelings to your family, your brothers, your sisters. So this was one of the things that really surprised me on the next day of the delivery, how emotional I was with my parents. And we did not see each other for 3 years before the baby got delivered. And on that day, the next day, we decided that in 1 month they will come visit like spontaneously without really having talked about it before. So you see your hormones also as a man will be like in a roller coaster. So it's not only the wife which will have her hormones going up and down, also for us men. And be prepared to be more emotional. Be prepared also, you will start feeling at some instance you want to cry, and you will start also doing this in front of your close family. So it's a very beautiful thing, and I really, since then, I feel like another binding to my family. I'm really more sensible when I talk to my parents, and it's a beautiful thing. I really enjoyed it. You'll also notice that the relationship to your parents, to your family, change in the sense of when you see them playing with the baby and everything. So you start seeing their love to you and to the baby, and you start seeing them differently. So from another perspective, because you are a parent and they are your parents, and they're seeing their grandchild. I start myself really reflecting on how will I react when I am a grandfather. So it's really another dimension to your relationship with your family, and really beautiful dimension. So just again, enjoy it to the most. So one thing I did not know about was that the babies, you can know why they are crying. So each cry has a different meaning. If they are hungry, they will cry more impulsively, and you will directly recognize that they are sucking on their hands and making some really weird noises because they want to eat. They can't see anymore, they just want to eat. Imagine yourself hungry, you didn't eat for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, for us, I mean, adults it's normal, but the baby, they get fed each 2 hours. So if they wait for 3 hours, they will be like really all over the place, crying. So just be prepared. Also, you'll directly recognize if they're having pains, so for example gases, because they will be really crying very hard and you cannot really soothe them, so they will not stop crying. It will be really continuous, and you'll have to really recognize this to be able to identify. And so you start identifying the symptoms, you start recognizing the symptoms, and based on it you can start trying different stuff. Just again, the main thing is to breathe, keep your calm, and just try to listen to the baby. And of course you can talk to the baby. So if the baby is crying very hard, if you start talking to them in a very soft ways, very soft language, they will also react to it, which is really something I didn't expect. So they understand if you are like emotionally very stressed, and if you are very calm, they will react to your calmness. So keep it in mind, keep calm, breathe, and understand what the baby is trying to tell you. Also a separate type of crying, which is the bored type of crying. So you start hearing, the baby will not be really crying, it will be only just like telling you, I'm here, just hold me, or I need some entertainment. Yes, so you'll start developing some techniques to make them really enjoy their time or stop crying. One of them would be a rocker, for example. You can take them for a walk, put them in this baby like holding bag that you can buy, or buy them some teddies. So with the time they will start developing, they will start to learn how to play, and hopefully play on their own also. So yeah, just be careful of that and don't panic each time that they cry. Baby bonding. There's a misconception out there that the babies do not understand anything until they're 6 months old or even really older, yeah? And I've heard this from a lot of my friends, even from my family. And this was one of the most surprising stuff that I've seen after the birth. So from the first moment I felt it when you hold the baby when he's crying and you put it against your chest. You see how calm the baby gets, and the bonding starts happening. So the baby feels your heartbeat, your warm body, and knows that you are the father or the mother, and yeah, it is quite a very nice feeling. Also the singing for the baby. You start seeing that the baby recognizes the songs that you were singing for him when he was in the belly, or she, when she was in the belly, and it makes really a beautiful difference, and you start seeing like you're bonding with the baby. And when they start smile, that's another story, because they start recognizing your face, looking at your face for longer times, looking you in the eyes even. And this is times for everyone there, having someone in the family, having a baby. Just don't miss out on that time, because it's really, really very, very, very precious times to get to know the baby. And believe me, the baby will remember you and will develop feelings even for you, even if they are really like days old. Time flexibility is one of the most important points that I wish I had learned before. Before having the baby, I was really thinking that I will start doing some sports outside. You know, when the baby is sleeping, you can just go to the gym, swim, all this stuff, like continue life the same way as it was before, or work on my master thesis. This is not the case. So be ready the first 10 days. You need to give full concentration to the baby, especially that the baby has no routine yet. So they're waking up like in not regular intervals, and you're awake the whole night. How do you want to make sport then during the day? And you need to stay next to the baby the whole time, at least one of you, and usually you will both be really doing something at home. So this was one of the things that I quickly learned, that it has to be gradual, like starting to picking up the outdoor activities. I was able first to start sports again after 1 month, at least 1 month. And it was really only 20 minutes. So now my gym time reduced from 1 hour per day to really 20 minutes each 3 days almost. So you see, like I'm not having that much time for myself, but still I'm able to find the time, at least in a small small interval, but still I'm able to do it. That's very important. Start gradually. Once the baby starts establishing the routine, for us it was after 10 days we started recognizing a routine. We went outside and the baby didn't cry even once when we were outside, because it was perfectly timed, 2 hours outside until the baby woke up. And we are lucky because our baby likes to be outside, yeah? So you can start building these outdoor activities within your routine, and you'll see it works. And it's not like you could imagine that you will be just staying at home for the first 3 months, for example. No, you'll be able to go outside even for longer times. You plan the breastfeeding, for example, outside, then you can stay for 5-6 hours outside. It's really wonderful. So be prepared. The first 10 days really tough, even the first month's really tough, but then gradually you can start again adapting to the life before. Also, you'll be more efficient, so you'll start appreciating the time more, because you know at any moment the baby will wake up and start crying, so you make the most of your time. So if you are in the gym, for example, you know, now I have to do it like really all the exercises on time, not speak for 1 hour with the neighbor, just be very concentrated. And also at work, you'll start really concentrating on your tasks, getting them very efficiently done, which is great for your family because you'll have more time then to spend with the family. So yeah, as you see, it is a life-changing situation, which is a learning opportunity and challenging also, but also great to develop yourself and grow in the parent role. Baby's digestion is also a big part that I wish I knew a lot about before. So the first surprise was the fountain show. I talked about it in the last video. It's the first time I was changing his diapers here in this place. This wall over here got filled with water because we had a baby boy, and yeah, it's like a fountain show when you change the diapers and you're not watching, and sometimes it's all over the place, all over you, all over his mom, all over everything. So just be prepared for that. I wish I had knew that before. And the second part, when they start growing and their body develops, you start seeing that their burps start getting more developed. So they will really, it's like again a fountain show, but coming from their mouths. It's like they are vomiting, but actually they are only doing burps. It looks more dramatic than it actually is. And just be prepared for it. You need to change their clothes multiple times a day, and also during nights. And it is quite it is tough for the parents, because you're just like a machine, then changing diapers, then having the burps, changing the clothes, and of course afterwards comes the part about them pooping. So that's another story, because with time also you start seeing that when they have gases, they are uncomfortable at night, and you need to learn the positions that are more comfortable for them to let the gases out. And then for pooping, expect also, same as the fountain show, for the boys, expect that there will be also some live sessions of pooping while you're changing the diapers, which sometimes are not that convenient at all, because you'll land with poop on the ground, and you can imagine the escalation that will happen within the family in general. So that's one of the most surprising things. And also, of course, at night when they're sleeping, they make some noises. If they or if they ate and they're having some digestion problems. And for this, you can consult with your doctor. And I did not know about it. The first time I heard it during night, I was really scared if we had to take him to the emergency. But the doctor back then just told us this is normal, all the baby have this. So just be prepared that the baby will not sleep like an angel as you may think. He will sleep as an angel, but who makes noises. So yeah, and also one more thing that was somehow uncomfortable for me. So the baby, when he's pooping, he makes like a big sound, like discreet. I was expecting that. No. So if you give him to someone to hold him and he poops, you'll know 100% that he's pooping, because the noise is very loud. So be prepared for that. And it sounds like an adult who's pooping. So yeah. Next point is about the communication with your partner. So of course you hear and you can read about it a lot, how to communicate with your partner and how important is communication when having a baby. But unless you get the experience itself, you won't know how it is really. So you are a zombie, because you're each 2 hours at night you have to wake up. Sometimes at night you will be waking up from 3 a.m. until 6 a.m. so 3 hours at one shot. You are sleep deprived, and you've never went through such thing in your whole life. I guarantee it is a very different experience, and you will not be able to really see clearly anymore. And that's the reason why you need to be really communicative with your partner. Just make them understand how you feel. Just also try to understand how they feel, and try to coordinate between both of you about who is feeding when, and for example, who is taking responsibility of cooking, of the diapers, and all this. So for us, after 1 or 2 weeks, we came up with the routine, which it's really very important, and don't underestimate it. And you need to make this routine based on the baby's routine. So for us was that I fed the baby once at night, and his mother once or twice, and then we started like, she's breastfeeding and I'm feeding with a bottle and so on. Like once she does it, once I do it. So we're like really with divided roles, and really helped very, very well. And of course, then with the time, just keep communicating with your partner to understand what's their, let's say, vision also about how to raise the baby. So very, very important, just to be sure that you are not diverging from each other. We want to converge, and that's only possible through communication. Also, when you start working, it is very important to make your partner know about your feelings, that you'll be there for her, and yeah, just be there, communicate, and yeah, that's what I can tell you. The personality of the baby. From day one, you'll start noticing that your baby has a personality. This was really a very, very interesting fact that I realized on the first day. You'll start seeing really if they are like you, if they are like their mother, if they are quiet, if they are like really with temperament the whole time. This one, as you can hear, he has a very strong temperament, which is from my side of the family. And yeah, it's really enjoyable to start seeing the traits in the baby from this family or this family. And of course, the topic that you start hearing about most of the time is the baby looks like his father, like his mother, and all this. But at the end of the day, it is, you see the temperament? At the end of the day, what counts is that the baby is healthy, and just enjoy the time. It's really once in a lifetime, yeah? And of course, you can't control everything, so there will be some breakdowns, there will be some situations where you don't know what the baby is trying to tell you, but just try to be calm and don't lose your nerves, and really don't get emotional. If you get emotional, give the baby to your partner, because that's the best way to calm down and then be helpful. Yeah. Speed of growth. This is also very, very, very exciting when you start seeing the baby growing. So for example, our baby was born at around 49 centimeters. Now he grew almost 10 centimeters. And you start seeing the clothes not fitting in, and also their weight increasing. It's really a wonderful experience, especially for the first baby. because you don't know about it. So you start seeing the facial expressions. So the first time the baby smiles, and I'm always like hearing my wife calling me to look at something wonderful that is happening, and also me calling her. It's really wonderful moments. Sometimes the baby is crying so hard or is doing the fountain show on you that you start really laughing out loud, because it's really beautiful moments that happens only, like really happen only one time in your life, and you cannot repeat them. So just enjoy it, enjoy the moment. Also when it is very, very tough, you're trying to sleep, you cannot sleep because the baby is crying. These are all like precious moments. They will not come back. So just enjoy them to the most, and remember the baby depends on you, and each time you laugh, they will also feel your laugh and build the bond to you. So yeah, just enjoy it. This was it. These were the points that I've noted down for you. I hope this helps you, especially for the people who are expecting the first baby, to understand what's coming on your way and to start getting prepared. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments. And also in the next videos we will have some surprises for you. So we've made some tough decisions based maybe on hormones and yeah, being close to the family. So just stay tuned. It will get even more interesting in the next couple of months for us. Looking forward to see you in the next videos. Have a nice one. Bye bye.